Hi, this is Michael.G, and we are doing a second Sharpest Knife video. In our first video, we used a bench-made knife, which might be, kind of expensive, over $100. This is an older knife, probably about, 6-7 years old. And maybe some people might say, you got a 154 cm knife, that might be cheating, it's probably sharp already, whatever. Okay, so this video is to help the haters, and this video we're using a $5 or maybe $10 knife that I purchased at an estate sale. This knife is, I would say, about 50 to 60, 40 to 50 years old. This is a 1095 steel knife. It doesn't even have a name on it. Nothing fancy. It's a considerably thick knife, considering by today's standards how knives are made. It has a convex edge, and this is the knife we're going to use today. Again, slicing our magazine paper and see how we do with it. If you have your hunting knives or any other type of knives that you use, one of the best enjoyments is getting a kitchen knife sharp. And when I sharpen these knives for friends or for anybody that I sharpen it for, I warn them that they must be exceedingly careful how much pressure they put, because it plows right through anything you're cutting. And if you have never experienced a ridiculously sharp knife before, you're really in for a surprise, and you could hurt yourself. So again, we'll be getting our compound out very soon with our strops, and then people can try it, enjoy it, and they'll tell us the same thing that we've learned, is that this is really incredibly sharp. So enough talking, let us just start slicing. This again is a push cut. That means we're using the same part of the blade. We're not cheating by using, a slicing motion like this. I mean, when you see that, you understand the difference. You understand that's ghetto. Another thing is that we're not using a hollow ground, because that too is ghetto. We're using knives that I use almost all the time. This knife I don't use every day because I like this knife so much. But nothing special about this knife. It's a 1095 steel knife that will rust, but look at what we can do. And this is a little thinner than the other blade, and being a kitchen knife, the angle is a little bit different. But have you seen anyone scallop pieces of paper off before? Like that? I mean, like really just go in and just dig out a piece of paper. Look at it. It's just digging it out. Doesn't matter where in the blade I'm just scooping it out. Okay, great. You could do a nice straight cut like this. It's nice, straight. And we're done. It's nice and straight. But can you do this with one of your sharp knives? Just go and just literally gouge out the knife. Look at it. There we go. We got stuck a bit. That's alright. We don't care. We'll just pick another place. And it's not getting stuck because the blade's not sharp. It's getting stuck because the way we're holding the paper now, it flops around. But it really doesn't matter that much. If you notice, this knife now is just going through the paper. Let's see. We'll fix that. Go sideways a bit. When we go sideways, you're actually have more surface area of the paper. Let me just start again. We'll go real slow. We're just cutting paper after paper. Look at that. Yes. Just barely touching. Keeps on cutting. Non-stop. Of course we can go fast. Anybody wants to be fast, no problem. We can do fast all day. Look, nice and fast. There you go. That even touches it, it just goes. But we like slow. We like real slow. We don't want nobody to sit there and say we're cheating in our videos. We don't want none of that. We're using a kitchen knife that's 100 years old. 1095 steel. We got this edge with a thick book, maybe like a U-line catalog that everybody gets and throws away. So now you have something for your U-line catalog. We take the U-line catalog, we put 400 grit or 600 grit sandpaper on it. We get the profile of the convex edge, and then we hit it with a strop. That's all we do. No fancy $3,000, $5,000 sharpening anything. All we're using is simple sandpaper. You can get anywhere. I mean, it's not even fancy sandpaper. You know, it's not like piano grade sandpaper. It's just regular sandpaper, black. And we'll show that in another video. But now we're just slicing and dicing. We're just slicing the piece of paper. Now again, you saw it catch a few times, but it's not catching because it's not sharp or anything. It's catching because the paper is thin, and when you get to the end of it, it kind of folds in on you, like that. But no worries, we can just cut that all out like that. Look at this. Look at that circle we just cut out. We just go in, and it just, look at it. Cuts again and again and again and again and again. Again, this is our shark tooth compound that we sharpen this knife. I mean, actually, when we strop the knife, our compound does more than just brings you a beautiful finish. It literally puts micro hairs on the edge. And the micro hairs, what they do is, if you ever seen shark's teeth, you know, when you're further away from the shark's tooth per se, you see it's sharp. But when you come up, they have these micro serrations, and we have these micro serrations here, but you can't feel them like when you run your nail across. You just don't feel it. You think that it's just a super sharp knife. These micro serrations make a difference. So it's kind of like having a super, super, super fine, not visible serrated blade. And that's what we do. If I was to take the strop and rub it against here, you'll see the micro lines. You'll see them. And that's what allows our knives to become really sharp when we use them. I mean, we're at the end of this paper now. Just got little scraps left. And even the scraps, it's still cutting. And again, it's only catching, not because the knife isn't sharp. And if you notice some of these videos, they don't really do this long enough. They do it for a few times, or just enough to give you an idea, and then after that they stop, because they're always worried about, oh, what if the knife doesn't look good for a second? Oh, we really don't care. I mean, in the real world, we just keep on cutting and cutting. Whether or not we make the perfect video, so what? You get the idea. You see this thing go. All right, so we used up all this paper. You know, it's folded, it's whatever. Grab another sheet. See, another sheet. Here we go. And we're back in business again. Look at that. Back where we were. Because now the sheet is straight. Maybe we have to hold it. And we're cutting again and again. And, you know, we can start. We can start. We can go forward if we want. We can go backwards. We can take the knife. Let me catch it again. Okay. We can go forward and then come back. And most people just like want to slice in one direction when they're doing their slice cuts. But look, we can slice back, and then in the middle of the slicing back, oops, let's get that away. Start that over. All right. Again, it's the way you hold it. So you can go forward. Frustrating. Alright, there we go. Back where we were again. Let's keep on slicing. Now let's slice. We'll slice forward and then come right back. Slice forward and then come back. When most people slice, they just go one direction. And then slice forward and then stop and go back. As you can see, look at this. Nothing stopping this knife. Just keep on going. That. And again, you can still go in and cut out big hoop, big C's. And look, you can just see how the second it catches, it's just keeps on taking paper away. Well, this is our first video. Our first video was with a Benchmade. This is a $5-10 knife. We got this at any estate sale. It was partially rusted. So what? It's not a lot of money. Anybody can go to an estate sale. You might not find these knives that often, because if anybody knows about knives, they get them. The good thing about it is that when they're rusty, nobody touches them. And we'll do another video. We'll use another sharp knife that, a steak knife maybe, or a different thicker blade, so you can see how our compound works. We hope you enjoyed it. God bless.